So here we are again, quarantine stories. Today, I want to talk about the greatest basketball team ever. All right, the 1996 Chicago Bulls. The only other team that won more games, regular season games, than the 96 Chicago Bulls are the Golden State Warriors. They won 73 and the Chicago Bulls won 72. The difference is why they're considered to be the greatest. I mean, there's so many other factors we could bring in. But one of the main reasons is they won the championship. That's one of the main reasons they won the championship. Okay, so let's talk about the 96 Chicago Bulls. But really, I don't really want to jump into the Chicago Bulls per se. I just want to keep talking about the Incredibles as we get ready for the last dance, right? As we approach the last dance, I want to talk more about the Chicago Bulls. I want to talk about the finals MVP. I want to talk about the finals on their way to winning that championship in 96. Black Jesus was the finals MVP. Now, when we talk about finals MVP, it's not the regular season. No, it's not. Has nothing to do with it. It's not about the playoffs. No, it is the finals. That's why it's called the finals MVP. And in the finals, the Incredibles, the Bulls, they won 6 championships. This was by far their worst in terms of efficiency. And they're going against the Seattle Supersonics. I heard Gary Payton on an interview one time. He was like, yeah, we were very confident. We were very comfortable going into that series. We felt like we could win and we could beat them pretty bad. That's how they felt going into that. All right, so anywho, let's jump into it. The Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan, when you look at his efficiency in the finals, 96 was the worst. When you look at Scottie Pippen, efficiency in the finals, 96 was the worst. Steve Kerr, considered to be the best three-point shooter, efficiency-wise. His performance in the 96 finals was his worst. Okay, so this was the only time where Scottie Pippen was not better than the second best player in the opposing team. And Tony Kukoc, he was the third leading scorer for the Chicago Bulls. He was also not better than Shrimp, who was the third leading scorer for the Seattle Supersonics. And so how did they win? I mean, they were not as efficient as the Seattle Supersonics. I mean, how did they do it? The dude, the most impactful player, if you ask me, Dennis Rodman. That's how they did it. Okay, so let's jump into game number 1. Game number 1, Michael Jordan, first half, really good. He shot really well. He was like 6 out of 11 or something like that. Had like 14 points, something. He was pretty good. But the second half, he went like for 3 of 11. Didn't shoot so well. And Dennis Rodman was right there to help him out. Dennis Rodman was just doing everything right. He went against Frank Bukowski. Yeah, I remember Frank Bukowski. And gave Frank such a hard time. Frank got into foul trouble, got 2 technicals. He was ejected. It was wide open back in them days. The paint was everything. The paint was wide open. The Bulls got it. If you ask me who the MVP was, it was actually, I would give it to Tony Kukoc. He scored 12 of his 18 points in the fourth quarter. He was just incredible. But the whole team, the Chicago Bulls, played really well. The second game, Michael stunk. Didn't shoot so well. But Dennis Rodman was right there again. He was just incredible. Collected 20 boards. I'm talking about 20 boards and 11. That was a record right there. 11 offensive boards. He was just incredible. He was just doing everything right. He was taking charges, grabbing rebounds. He was just all over the place. He wanted the ball that much more than the next guy. And he was definitely the MVP. I would give him the MVP for that game. So the third game, Michael Jordan, he was Black Jesus. He was just by far superior than anybody else on the court during game number 3. He scored like 26 points or 27, something like that. I can't quite recall. By the end of the game, by halftime, by the end of the game, he had 36 points. I mean, he didn't have to do anything, in the fourth quarter. They had just won. That game was decided. And then we jump to game number 4. Shawn Kemp definitely won that game. I would give him the MVP. Game number 5, and the Bulls lost that game. Game number 5, again, the Bulls lost. I would give it to Shawn Kemp. Game number 6, This game, again, I would give it to Dennis Rodman. He collected 19 boards, got Frank Bukowski again in trouble. Schrempf and Sean Kemp were just struggling trying to handle this dude. He just got on everybody's nerve. And I would definitely give it to Dennis Rodman. So when you look at it, Dennis Rodman was definitely, according to me, I would give it to Dennis Rodman. I think Dennis Rodman definitely deserved to be the MVP for that final series, if you ask me. He was the most impactful player by far, if you ask me. But of course, the Bulls wouldn't have won that game without Black Jesus. But the most impactful player, if you consider everything, was Dennis Rodman. Please share and don't forget to like, and do subscribe to my channel because I need it right now. I'm stuck inside the house, so I need to do something to generate some kind of income, all right? So this might work for me, because if I can't do this, I don't know what I could do. You know, I'm going crazy up in here. So please do subscribe. I need you, man. I need you. And drop a comment, man. Say something about this video, man.